it is Kendell Lenice, and welcome to Reviews and News. Thank you so much for coming back for Real Housewives of Potomac, the review, RHOP, Season 6, Episode 4. Y'all know I got my notes. By now, y'all know how I do this. But before I get started, merch, it's never too late to remix your life. Y'all know I'm a life coach, and it's never too late to remix your life. Go to leniceboutique.com to get your shirt. And also, go to amazon.com and get your My Personal Journey of Peace, a 30-day guided journal workbook. That's available on amazon.com. All right, so let's get to this review. So it opens up with the title of this episode is Going Home at the, is it going home? Oh, Going Ham at the Jammy Jam. I love that. So it starts with Giselle. That's what it opens up with. And Cal, y'all know she loves herself some Cal. He is her bestie and hairstylist. And he seems like the one that can talk straight to Giselle. And he knows Giselle very well. So they have a great relationship. And they're waiting on Robin. And as always, Robin is late. So Giselle has on this beautiful pink gown. I'm telling you, y'all be talking about how she dresses, but she's coming with the looks this season, and even in that promo. So we find out it's the promo photo shoot for the podcast Reasonably Shady, which is out now. And I think it's on Charlamagne's Black Effect podcast channel. So Robin comes in and she's late. She has a beautiful red outfit. They look like Valentine's Day. It worked. My daughter was like, well, they should I wish they were more in sync with their outfit. But I thought it worked well. And I was telling my daughter about the final photos that I've seen online for the podcast. But even when they showed the clips, it worked. It was like Valentine's Day. The Green Eye Bandits have a podcast. Let me know if you've listened. I said I would listen to one, but I haven't listened just yet. So Cal, it's funny because they were talking about Jamal Bryant, that is, Pastor Bryant, that is, my former pastor of Empowerment Temple in Baltimore, that is, and Cal is asking about Jamal, and Giselle is saying the same things that she said, I think episode 2, that he is far away. She's only seen him 3 times in 2020 because of the pandemic. That ain't working for her. She needs somebody 8 minutes up the road. She keeps saying 8 minutes up the road. That's what she needs. And Cal is looking at her like for real, friend, like, is that really what you need? Is that really what's going on? Because y'all can make a long distance relationship work. And then it comes out that maybe he doesn't want to make it work, or she's looking for someone closer. So it's almost like Giselle is planting the seeds. And oftentimes when you're breaking up with someone or you're trying to figure it out, you're dropping the seeds and planting the seeds. So when the big wow, we ain't together no more, it's not a shock to many people. And that's what Giselle seems like she's doing. But then they catch Cal up with the drama of Mia and Wendy talking about the text when Robin and Giselle tried to text her and said, yeah, we want to meet up with you, we want to connect with you, but pretty much leave Karen at home. So they were telling Cal about Mia's response, which was uncalled for and kind of nasty. That's what basically Robin and Giselle were talking about. So I get it, but later we find out what Mia's response is, but you can't be requesting folks stuff of grown folks. She should have just said, we want to meet with you. And if Giselle said in Robin that we just want to get to know you better, that would have been sufficient enough. She didn't have to say and leave Karen at home. Later she explains what she means, but it was messy. And I love Giselle, but it was messy, Giselle. All right, so then they go on to Ashley and Michael. And this is, I think, the first time we've seen Michael since episode 1. and he's looking very Michael-ish. Ashley is very pregnant and so adorable. And it's so funny. I don't know if it's just me, but before you can see the age difference with Ashley and Michael, but for some reason, Ashley's pregnancy is bringing out the little girl in her with her little rosy cheeks. She looks very childlike, and then here comes old Michael. Let me know what y'all think on that. But Michael, they're sitting out, they're eating out, and Michael brings up the idea of wanting to have a production company. And Ashley's like, a production company? Movies? We doing movies now? And he was like, yeah, we'll hire everybody. We'll do, have a whole production studio. And little Miss Ashley was not feeling that. She wasn't. She was like, well, we about to have baby number 2, and we still got baby Dean, and we're trying to handle this and getting ourselves together. I don't know about, starting a business. Y'all seen what the restaurant did to them, and then they flashed back, and y'all remember when they were arguing by the car, and they always were arguing when it came to that restaurant. Y'all remember that Aussie restaurant? I know it closed down, I don't know, last year, the year before last. Even though I'm in the area, I've never gone. So if this is your first time tuning into my review of Real Housewives of Potomac, this is my favorite. Why? Because it's close by. Why? I can go to all the places they go. I may possibly see them, but I get to know where all the good food places are, where the hottest and the latest and the greatest, and just see. So I can actually put my eyes on some of the places that they've gone to. So that's why it's my favorite. And I'm liking the new character. I'm liking Mia, but I'll tell you about my thoughts of the newest one, Escala. I'll tell that towards the end. But so now we go on over to Karen's crib, Karen's casa, Karen's house, Karen's mansion, Ray and them's house. We going over there. And her daughter Raven calls. And y'all remember when Raven was on before, she didn't want no parts of her mom, and they had, it was weird on camera. I'm not saying that it was weird in real life, but they seem like they're in a great place. Karen was cooking and Raven called, and I like Karen's little stand. She had her phone on, almost like a cooking show. And they were talking, and her daughter told her she's proud of her. Now, I'm a mom and my daughters are 20 something. So that means a lot when your young daughters say, you know what, I'm proud of you, or give you a compliment. So I totally got Karen in that moment, in that mom moment. And it was a sweet moment until Karen burnt the fish. But why was the fish in a pot? Did y'all notice that? Karen had her fish in a pot, like a saucepan or a pot. Like when I'm making fish, I put it in a frying pan or a saute pan, but it was in a pot. And Raven was like, don't burn it. She was like, too late, already did. She was like, no, that ain't nothing but Cajun, brush that off, and we can go on. But so that was Raven and Karen. They had that nice little sweet moment. She is in New York as an administrator or CEO or doing the corporate America thing. But didn't it seem like she just started college? Y'all remember when she started college? That's when you've been riding for the show for a minute. You see the kids grow up. You remember when they go off to college. You remember, you see the little steps that they're taking. That's when you've been riding for a show, with the show for a long time. And then we go on to Mia, the boss B, the CEO, her 14 locations of the joint chiropractic. There's one around the corner from me. So those are real places. Had no clue that we were going to be introduced to the owner of that place. Is right around the corner from me on Real Housewives of Potomac. But y'all can say what y'all want, but she's a boss, and she knows it, and she was in her boss mode, so they could call her like dippy, weird, whatever they're calling her thus far. But I'm liking Mia. She was there handling her business at her 14th location. She has 14 locations. So let's just pause right there. It's hard enough to start one business. It's hard enough to maintain one business. It's hard to manage one business, but 14 locations. So I'm sure it's like they're running themselves. Not to say that she don't have to do anything, but apparently, if you got 14 locations and you got 14 locations that made it through the pandemic, then you got a coin or two in your back pocket. I'm just saying. And she calls G. Call me G. Every episode, I think I would say, call me G. Y'all remember when he said, call me G. But her husband, Gordon, talking to Mia, and she's in her boss mode. So he's like, listen. She's like, can you take Joshua to his practice? And he was like, sure, no problem. But he want to spend time with his mom. Every time he's looking forward to getting in the car with you and having that mommy and son time. You like, I can't do it. I'm at work. I got to do this and that. And she's like, oh, you're making me feel guilty. And he's like, no, I'm just telling you what it is, because the son is probably telling her. So a lot of business women go through this and have that mommy guilt when they're out there trying to slay the day and make boss moves, and they have children. So it really is a happy balance. But good thing she does have G to take her son where he needs to go, but she still has to spend that time. But I get that mommy guilt, because she was like, now you're making me feel bad. He was like, no, I'm just telling you. But the Joshua won't want to spend time with you, Mia. So go on and try to change your schedule so you can spend time with him. Somebody was dialing. All right. What's next? Oh, Robin. So Robin says that she gained 14 pounds during the pandemic. I don't know about y'all, but I couldn't really see it. Now, we know that Robin is a fit person, athletic. She played basketball. Juan played basketball, and he's a coach. The kids, that's a whole little sporty family who's into athletics and exercise, so it seems. But Robin says she gained 14 pounds during the pandemic, staying up late, eating ice cream, and doing her thing. Like many people gain the COVID-15. Like when you go to college, you gain the freshman 15 or the freshman 10. But I'm going to go back to that. I think Robin was suffering from depression, not getting out of the bed, not wanting to do anything, no enthusiasm to move about, not really waking the kids up, eating a lot. She might have been dealing with that. And so many people have dealt with that during this time. So Robin is no different. Then they flash to Juan. Juan is hard. Y'all be like, Juan is fine. He's fine. And he is. But he ain't giving her no slack, and I'm just like, geez Louise. But Ascala and Wendy show up to this exercise day outside. It looked cold as a mug outside. Did y'all notice that? It looked so cold. And I've never seen anybody work out with coats, but because of COVID, maybe they couldn't go into the gym. But then Ascala walks up to exercise in a fur coat, and Wendy had her fly coat, and it looked cold. Robin looked like she came to exercise. The other two ladies look like they came to support, because they didn't come to exercise with those coats on. If I would have been out there to exercise, I would have had on a hoodie, a sweater, another sweatshirt if I was really about that. But maybe it's just for the show and a scene. All right, so then we go on over to Candace's casa, and she calls everyone because she is selling her condo. Y'all remember the condo, the townhome that Dorothy said she paid all the bills to. She owned that. She could do what she wants in there. Well, it's about to be bye-bye. Candace sold it. They haven't moved in yet or moved out, but she said she sold it. So she said, you know what? I've been in this since my early 20s, and I'm in my 30s now. So it's a lot of memories in here, and I want to send it off with a bang. So she had a peace out house party. Cute idea. They're coming up with some cute ideas, because I'm for a theme, and I'm for a name for this and a name for that. So I'm with that. And everybody was invited to be there. Messy Mia, she wasn't messy. Now, the reason why I say that is because they were trying to tell Candace what was happening. And Ascala was there, and they were trying to explain it was Ascala, Robin, and Candace, and they were trying to explain what happened. And Ascala kept calling Mia messy, and I haven't seen any messiness of Mia at all. But I'm starting not to like Ascala. This is only the second time I've seen her, and I almost feel like she needs to just back up. She don't know these ladies like that. She don't know the history. Even though we just met Mia, we still met her first. Like, it's almost like, chill out, sis, and just observe the room before you start telling people about themselves and who they are, because you really don't know. So something about her is rubbing me the wrong way. Pretty girl, beautiful girl, but something about her so far, episode 4, she's rubbing me the wrong way. She started rubbing me the wrong way, episode 3, but I give folks a chance. So we'll see what happens with her. But I was like, Escala, come on now. You're being the messy one. You talking about Mia was messy? At no part she was messy. I'm just saying. Then we go over to Mia's house. Y'all know I'm in the Baltimore County area. I'm in Maryland. But Mia's house, penthouse, is overlooking the inner harbor of Baltimore. And that house is fire. That penthouse, that apartment, that condo, whatever it is, that open floor plan and the outside view is to die for. Now, although Karen is her friend, she had never been to her house. Now, at first I was like, how is that your girlfriend, but she never been to your house? But I had to think about me. A lot of my girlfriends haven't been to my house, or every house that I've lived in. They haven't always been here. And we don't know if Mia just moved there or if she just met Karen. We don't know. Because at first I was like, she ain't never been to your house? So I was like, Karen was in Baltimore. I missed that. I could have saw her, could have saw the Grand Dame, but I want to know where that building is. And I'm going to find out where that building is overlooking the harbor. But it's beautiful. And it's something about an open floor plan that I love. How about you? All right. So, of course, Giselle and Robin come up in the conversation. But I just love the way these women entertain, because you can't, like I said before, invite anybody over. You ain't got no cracker for them, a piece of cheese, even though I don't even eat cheese. You don't have a drink, a water bottle. You don't have nothing, but they always come correct. If you notice, every time they go to someone's house, they have a little spread for them, and Mia did. So, of course, Karen was feeling the vibe of her place. She loved it. So they sat down at the table, and Mia started showing her the text of what Giselle and Robin said, and don't invite Karen. So Mia might have been a little messy at that point, or just trying to tell her friend what had happened, right? And Karen was like, but Karen did say, you know what, maybe later on down the line, you might be friends with her. So they were trying to work out that situation. And, Mia was like, okay, maybe I kind of did take it the wrong way. But I'm with her. Like, don't be telling no grown person what they can or cannot do. You can't tell me who to bring or who, not to bring. So I got that. So I think she saw that first. But I think Giselle should have just invited her, and that would have excluded that issue or problem. But then it made for the drama that the show wants to give. So where am I now? So Robin, Escala, and Wendy. So I love when RHOP does this, and they do this on all of the franchises, when Escala, Wendy, and Robin are talking about what had happened. Then you have Karen and Mia telling their side. So they're going back and forth. Like, she said this and this. Really? Let me show you the text. I didn't text her back. And then I didn't text her back. And then you go to Mia, and she goes, well, she didn't text me back. I love how they do that, because you can catch both conversations. I said, so they got cameramen lined up, or women lined up everywhere. So they're telling that story. And it's interesting how everyone's view is different on the story. So then they go to Candace at the National Harbor, Oxon Hill, Maryland. That's where Candace's condo apartment is. And that's the studio. So the studio, they always show that. So I really don't know where the studio is, but every time all of these ladies' names, Candace is about to hit the screen, they show the National Harbor. And the National Harbor is beautiful. That's one of my favorite places to go around here, anywhere with water. So every time they show the National Harbor, you know that they're about to show Candace. But Candace is in the studio, And she talks about Chris being her manager and he's not there and she wishes he was there. But then she's like, he's at everything I book. But then I was like, you had 2 bookings on the show. He wasn't there. And then, of course, the cameraman and the producer show where he wasn't there. He was through the phone, and he was through the phone on the other part. But she's saying he's busy. But Candace was singing. So first, let me back up. I don't know how long the Chris manager, husbander is going to last. Or like he said, I think he just manages her and that's her husband. So she likes to have him there and he gives her comfort. Nothing wrong with that at all. So call him what you want. That's her husband. That's her man. If she wants him there, then that's that. But she was singing. I love her throaty, raspy, deep voice. It almost, now she doesn't sound like Toni Braxton, but it almost gives me that same sultry burgundy vibe, because that's what it seems like, that rich tone. And she's singing, and I wonder what happened. She said she's not working with Chucky Thompson anymore. And if anybody knows about Bad Boys history, Diddy, and the music industry, you know about Chucky Thompson. And he was just featured actually on Mary J. Blige's My Life, if you haven't seen that on Amazon Prime. So I know his name and his work, and I wonder why it didn't work out. But she had some other producers there as well. So I'm interested to see what her project is going to sound like, because y'all already know When I See You, is that the name of the song? When I See You is a bop to me. With that go-go beat, it sounds better with the go-go beat, and that's the one they play on the radio. So then they go on over to Bethesda, Maryland. And for people that don't know about Maryland, Bethesda is a high quality town. People with some coins live in Bethesda. You can go to the restaurants in Bethesda and the malls, and everything is top notch in Bethesda. So who was in Bethesda? They went with Giselle. And she was in her white Range Rover, my car. I don't have it, but that's the car. That's the truck I want. So people used to always laugh at Giselle because she had that Mini Cooper, and they're like, she's so tall, she's squeezing into that Mini Cooper. Well, she said, you know what? I'm going to step up my clothes and I'm going to step up my car. And she did just that. So this is the part. And my daughters were laughing because Grace was trying to take her permit test, her driving permit test. And apparently she failed it several times. I don't know, if I was a teenager, I would be like, could y'all not film this every time or talk about my downfall and me not passing this test? Because it's on national TV. It's going to be on here forever. But homegirl failed the test multiple times. So they're on her way. Giselle, Adore, and Angel are taking Grace to get her permit test for, I think, the 3rd or 4th time. So Giselle is trying to show her emotional support. She's trying to not be like, dang, but she like, look, you making it bad for us. You making us a bad name. Your father don't drive. Maybe that's what you got in your genes. So she walks her in. And then Giselle comes back to the car with the twins. And then Grace comes out 15 minutes later. So they like, did you pass? Did you pass? And she's looking. I was like, I thought she was going to be like, no, I didn't pass. I passed. But she didn't pass. Now, I'm in Maryland. And both of my daughters who are in their 20s have taken this permit test. And they kept saying, my youngest daughter was like, the test is easy, especially if you study and take the practice test. So we came up with the conclusion in my house that maybe she didn't take the practice test, the practicums they have online that are just like the permit test. And maybe she didn't study the book. Because I was like, but it seems like she should have been in there 30 minutes because 15 minutes later, she came out and she failed. So maybe she should have took her time. And my kids was like, no, you can do it in 15 minutes if you study. So come on, Grace, we rooting for you. We hope that you have your permit by now. And way back in my memory, I'm thinking that she got it. I remember seeing something on Giselle's Instagram. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she Got it. But the shady part of it all was Adore and Angel, the twins. Did y'all notice how they kept shading Grace and they kept looking at each other, and then Giselle was looking, and they were, I said, poor Grace. I said, she got this to look at her whole life. That's embarrassing. It's already embarrassing to your family when you keep failing the driving test, but then on national TV. But I'm rooting for you, Grace. I think you got it, and I hope you did. All right. So now we going over, as we wind down, to Candace's Pajama Jammy Jam, her peace out party, giving paying homage to House Party, the franchise. So they go to her townhome and they start showing clips of the memories that were had with the ladies at Candace's home. But how can we forget Knifegate? That is the same townhome where Candace was, I have my pen. I'm gonna use my cord. What she was doing with the knife with Ashley. So it made me think like, okay, she had that time with Ashley, and then she had that time with Monique. And maybe because contact wasn't had, maybe that's why those two ladies are still there and Monique isn't. So they went through the memories. So who shows up first? Karen shows up first. She didn't even get the shot glasses ready. Karen's favorite, the Fireball drink. I'm told that it tastes almost like a like cinnamon candy, or the Fireball Jawbreakers. I've never had it, but that's what they say. It tastes like spicy and cinnamony. And she takes that shot, and of course they're so shady. They show all the clips of Karen getting drunk off of that. Remember, she was in that basement telling all her business, spilling all the tea. So that's why I think Karen was hesitant when Candace was like, the Fireball. Candace was like, hey, I didn't know that Karen was going to be the first one. And then Giselle shows up in her Versace robe. Robin shows up, and Robin is usually late and Giselle is usually early. So I was like, Robin showed up second. But she was in the National Harbor, which is not too far from where Robin lives. So I said, okay, that's why the other ladies had to come a little further. So Robin came in her sweatsuit and her headband, and Giselle came in her Versace robe. And so many people have that robe. My daughter said it's not that expensive, because when you think about design, I think it's like $500 or something. It's expensive for regular folks, but I guess celebrities paying $15,000 and hundreds for this and that. But I thought she looked cute. She had her little robe on. It was like her little coat. She was cute. The food, of course, y'all know I got to talk about the food every episode, but I need to find out who the caterers are, because they had the little cups of tomato soup with a little wedge of grilled cheese, which was really, really cute. I'm gonna have to have some non-dairy cheese though, because that's my business and that's why I gotta have it. But it looks so cute. I love to see how people set up things. I love to see how the decor is, the theme, what the food looks like. I'm into all of that. I like to see how they entertain. And Candace was shady. She didn't invite Ashley. She said, because Ashley wouldn't come anyway, she probably having a baby. Well, child, lo and behold, they flashed to Ashley. She was in labor, which was a trip. Her water broke. So then Wendy comes. She shows up, and too much. She got her little lingerie. She is really getting her money's worth of this BBL. Y'all hear me? She gonna show her tatas and her baba every single place, everywhere she goes. She gonna have less and less clothes on, because she's trying to show what she's working with. Show me what you're working with. So, and then Ascala comes, and I wanted her to simmer down, because she came being messy. We don't know you like that yet, sis. They don't know you like that. Chill out. Let's see how it plays out. To me, when you're the new one, you just observe and see. And then you lay it out once you get the lay of the land. You don't just come in saying she needs to do this, she needs to do that. I was like, chill, sis. Give it some time. Let's see if it works out. You don't want to rub anybody the wrong way. You don't want to prejudge. Let's slow your roll. But Candace got on the counter when they were back and forth and was like, all right, saints. She wanted to stop that drama so she can go on. Mia pulls Giselle to the side to smooth everything over. Giselle didn't back down. She was like, hey, I just was saying don't invite Karen because I wanted to get to know you. I already know Karen. I wasn't trying to be shady, but the way that you came off wasn't cool. And Mia was like, you know what? You're right. I shouldn't have. And I love when grown women can have that type of conversation and null it and dead it. And that's what they did. So we'll see, I guess, in the upcoming episodes, how they're able to navigate through a friendship. And the ladies played Lastly, Never Have I Ever. And I don't think I've ever sat around and played that game. I was like, I want to play, but I've never played that game. And I'm not a drinker either, so maybe that's why. But we could still do it. We could play it, with something else. But the faces, of course, y'all know Mia's already transparent. She keeps it a buck. And she's going to be authentically Mia, I think that's why I like Mia, because even as a life coach, it's about releasing the shame and being authentically you. And she is, and she's not shameful. When you take the bullets out the gun, then nobody can shoot you with it, right? And that's what it is with Mia. Like, nobody can hold anything against her because she is telling everybody her business. But the faces that the other women make, so we find out that it wasn't a clit job. It was a vaginal rejuvenation. And we've all heard of that. If you haven't, definitely Google it. And they were like, oh, we were trying to figure out. Robin was like, I was about to go get this done because I thought Mia got it done. So that was funny. But and then they asked who did a threesome, and of course Mia did, and of course they want to know, like, did you do that with G? Call me G. And she was like, yes, and it was another woman, and I just wanted to watch. So all the faces was like, skirt, skirt, skirt. You want to watch, but she keeps it real, and no matter if you agree or disagree, you gotta respect that she keeps it real. So then they go over to Ashley while the ladies are still at the pajama jammy jam, and Ashley is crying, and she's just going through what a lot of mothers go through, saying, okay, when I come back, I'm going to have 2 children, and I don't want to leave this child. I don't want this child to feel left out. So that's just those hormonal emotions and those mother emotions. And if it's your first child, you feel that way. You're gonna leave a single person, a non-mother, if you will, and then you're gonna come back with a whole baby, and now she has 2. So she was a little overwhelmed, but as we know now, she did have her baby. Whew. All right, I kept it within my time like I do, because I don't want to have this too long. I want to get in and out, in and out, in and out. But this is Kendell Lenice, and this is Reviews and News, where I review and bring the news. This was episode 4, season 6 of RHOP, Real Housewives of Potomac. Do me a favor, please subscribe and share to your friends and family who like the Real Housewives of Potomac. Until next time, God bless. Peace.